Hello and welcome to the 2010 Villagers Podcast, episode 17. We've got another special show on our hands tonight, which we will explain in a moment. Joining me tonight, as always, Ash Walker and Jack Salt. Just saying, lads, how's lockdown going? Another week in?
I'm bored, buddy, I won't lie, but the thought of the end...
Well, hang on. You said lockdown. There's no such thing.
Yeah. He's got
Oh,
it.
God.
He makes a good point.
Come on.
He does
Every man in his fucking dog's a key worker. Man left bollock. If he put a fucking hard hat on and be left, it would be a fucking critical worker.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
God. He's on one
Come on.
already. Right,
Yeah,
I shouldn't
come on.
have gone down that road because it just lets him get political. So let's not go there. Let's just move swiftly on before
Not
you
political, Sam. Correct. Let's be correct.
all of the views are Ash's own. I just thought I'd like to slip that in there.
Yeah, he doesn't represent the other two people in this
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
Well, hang on. Come on. We all agree. There's no such thing as lockdown.
I agree there's not such thing as a lockdown. I don't agree with the second thing you said.
As long as B&M's open, you know, we're not in a lockdown. Because I'm still undecided on how B&M can be described as an essential shop.
No,
And you can't tell it's because it serves fucking tinned peas.
right. We're going to start
Well,
talking
that
about
rubbish.
football now because otherwise people are going to be on at us again, probably from Ollerton.
Well, that's
Right.
can't afford tinned peas in Ollerton.
So we have some big
Joke.
things tonight. We are going to be joined shortly by a very special guest. For the first time, we're going to have a player on the podcast, which we're very privileged and pleased to have. Got a lot of questions lined up to ask this player. We're not going to say who it is just yet, and we'll keep you waiting a little bit longer. And we also have a couple of big bits of news to kick off the show with, which is why we thought we'd do this first. So, despite his views on key workers and B&M, someone on this podcast has just become the new secretary of North Ferriby FC Supporters Club, Mr. Ash Walker. Very well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
Very good, mate.
If
Very
you'd,
good.
We'd like to open the floor up to you now to say a few words on this. It's been your first public appearance since, and
I think we're breaking news here.
I think it could be break. Well, people who are in the supporters club will have seen the email, but apart from that, you know,
Breaking
it
news.
is a bit of breaking news. Your fan club will be delighted.
Well, we're selling t-shirts.
There will be. I think you'll be a little bit more popular than Donald Trump is at the moment, anyway.
Well,
So I believe you want to say a bit about this announcement, and also you've got something quite exciting that the supporters club is kicking off at the moment and looking to raise quite a lot of money for the club that you're going to tell us about as well. So I'm going to hand it over to you now.
yeah, well, obviously it's a great honour to become the secretary of the supporters club, and I want to thank Salt and Sam for nominating me. Mark Chesney, the new boss, is taking the supporters club in an absolutely amazing direction, and I'm delighted to be part of that with James and Mike and Mark as well, Mark Layton as well in the committee. Basically, the whole point of supporters club is it's for the supporters. It's not for me. It's not for anybody else. It's not ours. It's the supporters. It's everybody's. So really, the message is, if you've got any suggestions on how the club could raise money, any way you want to get involved with the club, speak to myself, speak to Mark, to James, anyone else in the committee, Mark Layton or Mike Burney, and we'll be happy to listen to our ideas. Now, talking about Chesney, he's sent me an email. The boss is now the new boss, isn't he? The new boss.
He's your boss.
He's
Not
desperate
ours.
he's desperate to have his appearance on this podcast, isn't he, Mark?
Yes.
He loves it. He wants his name
Yes.
mentioning all the time.
Well, he's going to get his fair share of mentions today and in the future, I reckon. But yeah, he sent an email out. A very exciting idea he's got, and it's getting some good legs. Is this? I'll read the email. The Supporters Club of North Ferriby Football Club are looking to hold an online auction in the near future to help to continue to push this great football club forward. The idea is to pull together things which people may have lying around in the field of sport, television, or celebrity. We are looking for things like old football shirts, sporting memorabilia, possibly North Ferriby related, signed books by local and celebrities, basically anything which would make the club money by the way of an auction. The Supporters Club Committee are also coordinating this and working hard to also bring some top class lots or other things which may be quite valuable in terms of enjoyment. Some things have already been secured. It would be wrong to let any of the cats out the bag just yet. There are no fees to pay, and all the money made goes to the Supporters Club, which will eventually go to help the club in some way. If anyone has anything they think may be useful to us, then please let us know and we will come back to you as soon as possible and arrange collection if suitable. Now, I think the arranged collection if suitable is James if his car works.
If his car works.
Yeah.
That's
His
a
car
big
works. I think James will be coming with his bin bag. But no, so that's it. We've got an auction going on. You know, lots of good things in already. I don't know. I can't share any yet. It says so. Salt asked me to share some last night, but I'm not going to.
I don't
No, you did.
I
You said to me, tell them about this.
think that's right, Ash. We'll keep it under wraps for
Yeah,
now.
we're going to keep it under wraps.
keep it under.
You two should know anyway.
I know that Jack and James have been getting some very good items sorted out this week. Obviously, we won't say what. And I believe his target is 100 items, which if he got that from everyone who supports the club in some way, if we could cobble together 100 things, I think that's a brilliant idea, and it would hopefully raise a lot of money for the club. We've seen some great things at the moment going on like that, like Ben's fundraiser last week that was over £700. So it's all going in the right direction.
The turnstile top-up as well, the most controversial incentive in non-league football.
I mean, it shouldn't be controversial, but there have been certain comments that have made it controversial. Let's get that right.
Yeah, and you've been biting like a good insult on Twitter, but
only my own account, mate. Only my own account.
What I will just say is,
can I just say that there's.
Yeah, go on. We can hear you.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, sorry. I think I froze out again, but I'm back. I'm back now, am I? Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back.
Yeah. Well, I want my say on this turnstile top-up controversy. I know we get people from Hall Road listening, and other places, but come on. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of ambition and wanting to support your football club. We are a semi-professional football club. We are not amateur. We need the money to survive. Let us do what we want to do. Get your own house in order before you slag everybody else's off.
No, I agree, Ash.
I think it's ridiculous.
If people aren't being forced to do anything, at the end of the day, it's £5. If people feel like they're in a position to donate that at the moment to the football club, then that's entirely up to them. Obviously, a lot of people are in really bad financial situations at the moment with everything that's going on, and fair play, you can't do anything. But no one's been told they have to do this. This is just a purely voluntary thing. So I really don't see the issue with it. And obviously,
Will Young sang a song, Sam, called "Jealousy," and that's what it is. And I'm not going to sing the song because I don't want to embarrass myself.
Please don't.
They embarrass themselves, but come on.
Yeah, you may have a point. But just going on to a positive note, I just want to say, well done, Ash, and we're looking forward to having you on the supporters club.
I was just about to say. I'm just about to plug my Twitter handle, but I don't actually know what it is. I was going to say tweet me, but I don't actually know what my Twitter handle is.
If anyone wants to see a recent meltdown about the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the other night in the NFL playoffs, then they do need to dig out Ash's Twitter account, which I will try and find for you now. I can't believe you don't even know your own Twitter name. But anyway, so it's at Ashley W595 is your
That's
Twitter handle.
That's what, so I've had that many because I keep getting hacked.
Yeah,
and websites river goes on.
And if anyone does have any items that they think would be good for the auction, then obviously get in contact with anyone from the supporters club email, or you can talk to us or anything, and we can pass that on. So
feel free to message the club as well. I mean, I have all my emails on and direct messages and stuff on. So if you've got anywhere wanting to get to the supporters club, you can go through me on the social media, on the club's social media account. So not a problem there.
We've got all the bases covered there, I think. But yeah, I've obviously, like I say, if you have any ideas about the club or anything, then Ash is obviously keen to get going, and he'd want to hear from you. So because he's just has to listen to us too normally.
I know.
I do, and some of the things you'd say come up with, Jesus, pie in the sky.
Now, we obviously don't have any other news really, at the moment, other than to say massive well done to Ben last week for his fundraiser, and thanks for having us on. Hopefully a lot of you've seen the nearly 90-minute long interview we did with him last Saturday night, which I thought was really good. He covered all the bases, the history, the memories, the current goings on with the club, and all three of us thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I say, I think 700 quid was raised, which was a brilliant effort. So well done to him, and just to say thanks for having us on last week. And I'm glad that people enjoyed it, and I know you had people from all over the country watching it, so that was really good.
We're now the third biggest team in Scotland. I mean, it's not hard, but come on, we are now the third biggest team in Scotland.
What, after Rangers and Aberdeen? Because Celtic don't really exist anymore, do they?
So, not Celtic.
We're the best green and white team in Scotland. The biggest green and whites in Scotland, yeah. Fantastic.
Oh. Right, so now I think it's time to invite our guest to join the call after all of that, and hopefully this should be quite good. He approached us last week and asked to come on, and hopefully this kickstarts a few of the players coming on. So
here he is.
Good evening, lads.
Right.
How are we, mate?
Yeah, not bad, you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How's lockdown treating you?
All right, best it can be, I suppose. What about you, lads?
Yeah, boring. Not very nice without football.
And it's not the best, is it? You've just got to try and get through it, I suppose. But try and get your football fix from somewhere, aren't you?
Of course we have, mate. At least we've got the Premier League carrying on, and
how much longer, I don't know. But
well, statement came out today saying that they're going to try and finish the season. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we should get that finished. But yeah,
hopefully that comes down to our level as well.
I know. I know.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, just officially to say, obviously, welcome to Jordan Douglas. Thanks a lot for coming on. We've got quite a big interview lined up for you, so hopefully you're ready for that. But
Jack's
this is what
been busy, hasn't he?
Jack's been really busy.
All the questions. I've done their dirty work for him, mate. I just thought I'd like to let you know
that. So obviously, North Ferriby FC goalkeeper, one of the stars of the season so far. It's quite easy to say after the heroics, especially in the couple of penalty shootouts, which we're going to cover as well. So we've each got a couple of sections of questions each to ask you, Jordan. So yeah, it should be quite good. Just hopefully they're not. There's nothing bad in there, so it should be fine. So I'm going to kick off with the season so far, and obviously we do hope the season returns at some stage. But just first of all, how would you judge the season so far, for yourself and for the team?
I think personally, all right. Room for improvement. There always is for everyone. I think as a team, if you'd have told us at the start of the year you can be, I think, 4th in the league, and where we are in the Vars at Christmas, you'd snap your hand off. You know, the league is an hard league. People don't realise teams beat anyone. Top can beat bottom, bottom can beat top. So you've just got to be at it. So as a team point of view, same again, we can improve on bits, but we just seem to get stronger and stronger each game, you know. So I think where we are, we're definitely happy.
Yeah, I think especially the Vars run, which has just been brilliant for everyone at the club. And yeah, we are where we need to be league table wise and points per game wise, should it come down to something like that. So yeah, I think, you know, it has been a good season so far. Obviously we saw some new signings coming in the summer. How would you say they've all settled into the team? It seems to be a really good group at the moment, and the spirit seems brilliant.
I thought the change room last year was good. This year's even better. I think the people brought in is perfect. Do you know, Tilo at the back, unbelievable, so strong. Nelly experience, Danny East experience. We seem to brought that bit more experience in just to help us out. Do you know, Tilo plays alongside Levi, 2 unbelievable defenders. Levi's like, we take the mick out of it, a bit of a softie compared to Tilo, but both are unbelievable together. And obviously you've got Danny East, who plays in behind TC, or Hutch, depending where TC plays now as a winger. Obviously Hutch brought in, who's unbelievable, works its socks off every game. But again, experience, you know what you're going to get, gets the ball out, down the line, crosses it. Don't think he ever cuts back, does it, to be fair. So yeah, everyone we've brought in, an absolute perfect fit, and they've hit the ground running, to be fair. So yeah, happy days.
And one you didn't mention there, the referee's best friend, Ewan Healy. Yeah.
He's a character, that kid. I tell you now, he's a character. I work with him as well. He's a good player. He just loves a yellow card. If he was on Sky Bet, you'd definitely stick him on to get carded every game. That's what we all say to him, you know. Yeah. He sees it a different way, but guarantee a yellow card every game, promise.
Yeah, definitely the start of the season. I think he's calmed down a bit last few games. They started popping the goals in as well. The last few matches as well. I
didn't realise he had that in him, to be fair. But the 2, I think he's got the 2 he scored, the right foot and the left foot, are both great strikes. He said to me pre-season to score goals, so now we're starting to see it. I can't really comment on there and take the piss out of
him. Right, so obviously competition in the goalkeeping position. We've got 2 really good goalkeepers, yourself and Lewis Exall. We know you got a great relationship with Lewis. How would you describe like the situation, obviously battling for the number 1 shirt between you, and how it sort of spares you both on, really? And
it's a good one. You know, I speak to people outside of the football club, and people say, "Don't you like hate each other?" It's like, no, I don't know where this like perception comes from that me and him don't get on. Like, if anything, we get on amazing. We push each other at training. You know, we help each other in the games, and we know that if one of us is playing, we have to be at the top of our game. There's no way about it. You've got another good keeper sat on the bench, so if you're not playing or performing, and we've seen it last season, this season, that the gaffer doesn't mind changing. You know, he's got confidence in his both, and he has confidence in his both. And the way we train together, push each other on, is, I don't think I've trained like it, to be fair. You know, some of the drills we do, we have really deep conversations about the game. So if we've had a game on Saturday, train on Tuesday, and say we think something's gone a bit wrong, we'll have a conversation about it. So in terms of relationship, great. In terms of training, perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better, you know, in terms of relationship with him. So yeah, he's top keeper and the top guy as well. So couldn't ask for anything more.
Just smile a bit more.
He needs to cheer up, mate. He needs to cheer up.
Listen, he's got high standards, and he's like me. He's got high standards. So if he makes a mistake, and rightly so, he'll be pissed off. You know, it'd be the same as me. I'd be annoyed if I made a mistake. So he's got high standards of himself, which isn't a bad thing. So I just think sometimes when he's had a bad game, if I've had a bad game, you're just in one of them moods. It's a lonely place on your own. You make a mistake, you've got no one else to blame. You know, and there's only one case, it's gone in the back of the net. So unfortunately, sometimes we can be quite moody.
But no, that is good to hear that, you know, you've got such a good working relationship and friendship with him, because obviously it can be difficult for goalkeepers to, you know, people fighting for that one spot, whereas other places in the team, you know, you're fighting amongst a few people to get in. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear. Personally, what areas do you think you can focus on and work on in your game? And I guess we can also say, put that to like the full team as well. Where do you think we can improve going forward?
For me, and this is a big one for the gaffer as well, it's diffusing situations. Say for example, Levi goes up for an header, potentially I can let it run through to me and take it. So just being a bit more demanding as well, you know, a bit more. I think I'm quite loud, but obviously the louder the better. So obviously being a bit more louder and maybe potentially coming for a few crosses. I think at times I can just sit there and go, right, if I have to make the save, I'll make the save, and I'll back myself to make the save. Or I'll back people like TC, Tillo, Levi to go with it. You know, sometimes I can do that. As a team, it's quite hard because I think we press really well. We defend as a unit much better. I just think sometimes we can relax on it a bit more, just pass it a bit more. We've got players in there that can pass the ball. Now the full team can play. Like on a Thursday night when we're down at the ground training, it's play 5-0, it's completely different. It's unbelievable standard. So I just think sometimes, say if we go 1-0 up and they get on top for about 5-10 minutes, we become a bit ratty, I think, at times. So we can just get our foot on it, calm down, and just play. So just being relaxed. But other than that, there's nothing really. We create chances every game. You know, we concede minimum chances every game. We have most of the ball nearly every game. You know, it's hard to really pick a standout weakness, but just the one that always gets mentioned, just being relaxed on the ball a bit more. So I'd mostly say that.
Yeah, I was just going to go a bit ad-lib here, but just on the back of that, we talk about this quite a lot, and obviously we do seem to create tons of chances every game. Do the players, like, have you spoke about how we just haven't had that game yet where we've put like 5 or 6 past someone, and it's just not gone that way?
Every time, I think we created 28 attempts against Wales, 28, right? Obviously, we've got the stats we've shown on them, 28 attempts. Now, if you said to me we created 28 attempts and scored 2, I'd laugh at you. Because, like, the players we've got, but we know we are one game away from battering someone. And when I mean battering someone, we will steamroll them, 100%. Keep saying it. When's the game? We're just going to literally, a bit like last year, we was winning, but then we played arrogant at home, and I think we steamrolled them 5-0, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I think that's literally, and it's coming, and we're just waiting for that game to do it. But like we say, when you're creating 28 chances, you can't really complain. You know, imagine creating one and winning 1-0. All right, you've won 1-0, but you've only created one chance in 90 minutes. I think that's what the gaffer and Robbo see it like. The more chances we create, the better, because we know we've got quality to eventually score 4, 5, 6, 7. You could go on, to be fair. So it's just about being patient and just waiting for that time. And obviously, we're not pros, so you can't finish every chance. So, but I'd back most of the forward players to, if we have a chance, to finish it. So creating them chances is massive for us.
Yeah, obviously we'll look forward. We'll look forward to that game when it does happen.
So do I.
But yeah, we definitely we know it's coming. So it's quite a nice question next, but probably quite a difficult one with the season you've had. But what would you say was your favourite moment of the season so far?
Favourite moment? I'm gonna.
The bus back with Shaw, Dougie.
I'd have to say Withenshaw way. Only because, and to be fair, it was the same with Seaham. We played bad first half, really bad. We travelled all that way. Bad performance first half. We got a bit of a rollicking at half time. I won't say the words that we said, but I won't say a bit. We got absolutely rollicked, to be fair, at half time. And then a flick of a switch. I think it was Tillo that went and won an header and split his head open. Yeah. And for some reason, everyone was like, right, it's time to go. 2-0, obviously winning on penalties, and then you've got the trip home, which, it was another different level. I think that's what makes it that one compared to Seaham. I think because it's an away day, I think the coach on the way back, just brought a lot closer. We was already close anyway, we was already tight-knitted, but when you win like that, you've been 2-0 down, 2-2, win on penalties, you've got a 2-hour coach journey home. It was unbelievable. Like, that is the moment that sticks in my mind. And because it was the first real big moment in the Vars, like winning on penalties, I think that sticks in my mind a little bit more than seeing, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a good day, that one. It was definitely a very enjoyable journey back, that coach.
I think it was the stop at Huddersfield for the more beer that made it. Because we'd already done so.
Yeah, we'd already been through 5 crates, wasn't it?
At least something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant night's sleep, put it that way.
No, it wasn't.
Didn't feel the best the next morning, but
I don't think any of us did.
Obviously, a big moment for yourself. Obviously, you've since replicated it against Seaham, but saving the decisive penalty, and back when we could have fans at grounds, and they had all their home fans gathered behind that goal, and you must have been getting some shit. So that must have been a really great moment for you and obviously we saw that with the celebrations after that got captured on social media.
I remember one comment, and it'll stick in my mind, and I get this all the time, and I got shit all game. One comment was a little kid had said, it was the last penalty I saved, "I can't believe we've got a fat kid in goal." That was the comment that stuck in my head, and it will stick with me forever, right? And I get called fat all the time. It does not bother me. I am not arsed. And that one moment stuck in my head, and I just wished when I saved the penalty, I'd turned around and just looked him straight in the eyes. But yeah, you get slaver all the time. To be fair, I like to give a bit back as well. It's at the end of the day, it's a bit of non-league banter. So I'm happy as long as they can take it when we give it back. It's all in good humour. It's a bit of a laugh. So they can throw out whatever they want at me. I am not bothered.
Good to hear. Right. Oh, sorry, bringing it down a bit. I don't know if you want to pick one out, but what would you say has been the worst moment of the season?
The worst. It'll have to be one of the defeats. So you're looking at Winterton or Emily. For me, the start of the year, they're going to be up there. So it's a big game. I'd most probably say Emily, because I thought first half we played quite well. I thought we had chances to win the game.
We battered them first half.
Yeah, I thought we had chances to win the game, but they've got so much experience. You just knew that the longer the game went on, I just felt like they'd get a chance. So I'd say that one. I'd say Winston runs close though, because it got away from us in terms of they had chance after chance. So I'd have to say one of them too. They're going to be up there at the end of this. Well, if we finish the season, they're up there now. They'll most probably be up there if we finish the season. They'll be up there points per game. So in terms of a big of a game, them two really stick in mind of that. We haven't really had many bad days at the office really, but I just think them two was a big chance miss really.
Yeah, I think we would all agree with those two. Yeah. Emily was a complete kick in the teeth at the end, and Winterton was just sort of one of those nights we never really got going.
It happens as well. Like we play over 30 games. Play over 30 games now. We have a target of 2 points per game. Stop the season now. We're there. 2.2. We go up. You can't ask for any more. Win your own games. Draw your away games. You're going to get beat. Unfortunately, don't get me wrong, we'd love to go unbeaten. Realistically, is it going to happen? I think no. It's very hard to, especially when you play Saturday, Tuesday in the space of 1 month because the league absolutely love us. But it's,
I love the subtlety of that dig.
It just happens, doesn't it? I just think if you can win your own games, draw your away games, worst case scenario, you're going to win some games, you're going to lose some games. So that's what the gaffer said, it's 2 points per game, and we're there, so we can't really complain.
Yeah, we are definitely on that target, which is good, especially with everything up in the air at the moment. What would you say has been your favourite ground to play at other than the Dransfield, I guess, sort of at this level, so like this season, last season, and what's the hardest ground to play at? That's not Ferriby.
My favourite will be most probably Winston or Parkgate, because the pitch is always nice.
We said that on.
Yeah, said that the other night, didn't we?
If they came around and said you've got Parkgate or Winston on a Tuesday night, I'll be quite glad.
Yeah.
Because you're most probably going to get a game. Yeah. It's a nice little setups. Obviously, Parkgate, Rotherham look after that, so that's going to be an absolute carpet. It was last year. Obviously, we haven't been this year, but and the West, I didn't play, but after last year, I'd have to say Wearsborough away. Some of the lads. Obviously, I think we had about 2 days worth of rain. Yeah. It's on quite a hill as well, right next to that river. And some of the lads was still to this day say it's the worst pitch I've ever played on. So I didn't play, but I'll go with that pitch.
I still can't quite believe that game was on, to be honest. I remember me and Sam walking on the pitch before the game and thinking, listen.
Yeah, me and Lou was warming up, and I remember putting my foot down, and my boot was covered in mud from the laces down to the bottom. Like, that's how soaking wet it was. Yeah. So I knew it wasn't going to be pretty.
That's fair. Obviously, we do get, unfortunately, down at this level, we do get quite a lot of pitches and things like that. It was remarkable that game was on. Really. Just focusing a little bit on the Vars run. What's obviously I'm guessing there's two contenders, but what's been your favourite game of the Vars run, and should we be allowed to continue? Obviously, West Auckland next. How far do you think we can go in the competition?
My favourite moment. Do you know what? I quite enjoyed St Helens at home because I thought defensively was unbelievable. Yeah. Obviously, playing that game, I think it was the first game we played, wasn't it? Was it the first game we played?
Yeah, first competitive game.
Yeah, so you don't really know. You knew nothing about them. You don't really know how you're going to perform in a competitive game. I just thought 2-0 up and we were so comfortable. I could not see them scoring. I thought it was solid. And I think that just set the bar for the season. I thought you realise, this team's decent here. We can do something. And in terms of how far we can go, there's only one place we've got on man, and that's all the way, to be fair. We've been saying it from minute one. We've been saying it from the dot, we want to go all the way. You've got a chance, and a very, very good chance, to play at Wembley. For some of us, it'll be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I don't think none of us anytime soon are willing to chuck it away. So if you'd ask the lads, most of them will say, let's fancy all the way. But at the end of the day, the target is to go up, so don't get me wrong, if we can go up and go to Wembley, oh my God, I think I would retire, to be fair. Retire on an eye. But obviously, if we have, the target is to go up, so that's important. But I wouldn't like a nice little trip to Wembley either.
Absolutely.
It'd be amazing. I think we've all got that confidence now, especially after Seaham. I thought Seaham was going to be a really, really big test for us. And like you said, first half wasn't great, but second half, completely different team again. And then getting through on penalties. So it was, we really look forward to the next round, hopefully. So my final question for this section, I guess the big difficult question is, do you think the season will finish? Do you think we will start again and get to a finish?
No, unfortunately not.
I agree.
I think it's inevitable, isn't it?
I just think, thinking about it, there's been loads of stuff flying around. I've heard they're going to pause it now till August, and we're going to start from where we are in August. Now, that affects the following season, because then you play half a season, and what do you just stop for half a season and play again in August? So, look, I know they want to do this, get this extra league they've done in, so points per game would be perfect, but I don't know. Like I say, and I put it in perspective, last year, if they'd gone points per game, we wouldn't have gone up. So if they'd gone points per game last year, we'd have gone, hang on a minute, that's not fair, we haven't finished the season.
Exactly.
But this year, we go up third, and we're all like, go on, points per game, do it. We're happy, do it. Just do it, and we'll concentrate on the Vars. But so I think obviously there's been talk about them putting last year's league, this year's league points together. I think that'd be quite good. I don't think a lot changes, to be fair, from the top to the bottom. I know there's talk about Emily's not being in the same league, but last year they romped their league. There was talk they was going to come into this league anyway. You know, they're at the top by credit in this division now. So I don't know. But I just think there's so much going on. There's so many people that will have the say. It'll just be easier for the league to go scrap it, start again.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's what we're all coming to. I think if that was the case, we just hope that because it's an FA competition that we at least get some conclusion to the VARs and at least give us a chance to get that reward of Wembley if the league can't come to a finish.
That's an hard one as well because they haven't finished the tournament from last year. So what do you do? You know, the Cons haven't played the final from last year now. God knows what the rules are, but I can only imagine if Concert's team's completely different when they play the final. Where, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a difficult one because they class that as an elite tournament or a league competition. So, and they're saying a league competitions carry on, but I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, we've got four weeks left of this lockdown, which I think will just get extended again, personally. And I think if they extend it again, I think the league will make a decision. I think they need to as well for clubs, you know.
Oh, they do. Clubs need to know what's going on, and
so yeah, we'll see.
Right. So we'll move on now. I'm gonna hand over to Ash, he's gonna delve into a bit more of the art of penalty saving, seeing as we've got you on.
Something you've made your name of, Jordan, recently. But first of all, how do you prepare yourself for the stress of a penalty shootout after a long game?
It's quite hard. When you go into the huddle when they decide the penalties, to be fair, Lewis is always the one to come up to me first and just tells me to relax, but I can't. I literally cannot relax because I just think there's no pressure on me to save one. They're 12 yards out. They can stop, they can do whatever they want, and I've got to stay on the line. So they've got right to score. They should score. You know, as long as it's a decent penalty, you will score. So I just try and stay relaxed. Obviously, I think you've noticed me. I start clapping very loudly as they're running up. But yeah, I've just got to try and stay as relaxed as possible. Obviously, it makes it harder when you get people like Danny Bolton missing the first pen. And then you've not got to save one, you've got to save two to win it. So that doesn't help. But yeah, I try not to look either. If you ever notice, I walk really far away to where the linesman is. I go near the corner flag, and I just get myself sorted. And if they get to the ball first, then they have to wait for me to get in goal. You know, these little things, just keep me relaxed. So I suppose it's like someone else being on the other end of the penalty. You know, if you asked, I don't know, Tillo, for example, who took the last penalty for us, what he felt like, it must be the same. He's trying to stay relaxed, but there's so much going through your mind. If you save it, you save it. If they score, but you go the right way and don't save it. So yeah, it's just trying to stay as relaxed as possible. I try and stay out of the way and just keep myself relaxed.
Excellent. So thinking about when the player's walking up towards you, are you able to judge which way the penalty taker is going to go?
Not at that point. I'm not thinking about that, no. When I was younger, I used to try and dictate where he went. So I used to go right up to the face when I was younger and talk to him and say, you're going to go right, aren't you? I'm definitely going to go right. And hopefully I'd save it. Literally just a pure man game. But obviously, as I get older, the more experienced, they can hit it a lot harder. So it's just about, I try and tend to guard myself on where they stood. So if they're really, really wide and they're a right footer, they tend to open it up, put it to my left. If they're really narrow, it's quite hard to open your foot up to go to my left, so they'll go right. Don't get me wrong, some people are good at penalties and can stand wherever they want and put it wherever they want, unfortunately. But that's how I try and gauge, you know. And obviously, I don't allow clapping to put them off as long as possible.
I think we might have answered this one, but which has been your favourite penalty shootout so far this season? Withenshaw or Seaham?
I'd have to say Seaham, only because of the way it went, I think 7-7, was it 7, 7-8?
7-6.
Was it
7-6? Yeah.
7 players, you know, it's a long penalty shootout, and especially to go miss the first one, you know, you've definitely got to save one. When you're equal, you know, you can save one, and you hope your striker or your defender, whoever takes it, scores. But when you know you've got to save one, then save another one to win. I think that's the best for me. And because it's at home.
Yeah.
Better when you're at home, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. We know you have your own goalkeeper academy. How do you teach the art of saving a penalty there?
Do you know what? We hadn't got to that yet. We hadn't thought of that. I did get asked a few times. I just say it at their age, you just got to pick a way and be committed to it. A bit like if you say to a young kid, you're taking a penalty. If you're going to go right, don't change your mind. Commit to it. Because in that penalty shootout against Seaham, there was one where I was to go left, and the kid had slotted it right in the corner, and I couldn't quite get to it. But I just debated last second to go right, but changed my mind to go back left, you know. So I just think you've got to be committed and just literally take off as far as you can and just spread that side of the goal as much as you can.
Excellent. We saw a few months ago when Scotland qualified for the Euros where David Marshall saved a penalty. He stood on the line waiting for VAR. Just want to know what your thoughts are on that VAR and penalty shootouts.
I can't stand it. I just think you've got a line to stand on which is about that big. I've got size 10 feet, so half my foot comes off the line anyway. And as a keeper, you naturally get taught to step forward into the dive. So it's already natural in your body. But then you can have a striker come up to a penalty, take 4 little jumps, do a 10, do an handstand and still shoot. So I can't just run up normally. If I've got a dive normally, he's got to run up normally. That's my fault. Yeah. I'm a keeper, you ask a striker and he goes, yeah, it's a right good deal, because he knows he's got more chance to score.
Exactly. You ask Bruno Fernandes, I know what his answer is.
Oh yeah, he's buzzing, he gets to jump and do this little stutter thing before he can shoot, and the keeper's like, don't know where he's going.
Don't tell Samuel offending, God.
Oh, I'm not getting into that.
Why, Samuel, you're all for it?
I'm a Man United fan, so yeah, I'll take Fernandes doing the little hops and all that every day of the week if he scores.
Where he scores in it.
Well, he's not called Penandes for nothing, is he? So.
Yeah, it's a weird topic, VAR, because I just think that I actually think the concept of it as a whole is a really good concept. I just don't think it's used properly.
Yeah,
like
it's used poorly, I think.
Like just going away from penalty save and looking at offsides. When you're giving offside for somebody's hand being offside, a part of the body that you're not allowed to score from, what's the point?
Yeah,
if they're not allowed to score from it. How can it be offside? Drawing all the lines with the angles and stuff.
I just think at our level as well, if you're going to be the linesman that pulls it up for being off the line,
oh yeah,
you're getting a lot of stick at you. Do you know what I mean?
And he's got to come in the boardroom after.
For the sake of it, they can just go, he might have been off the line, but we'll let it go.
Yeah.
You know, I think that will happen.
Fantastic. Right, my turn, Doug.
It's you now, Jack. It's you now.
Looking forward to, mate.
What's this now? Are you going to stitch me up here?
No. You're going to stitch up the lads later. But
we'll have this then.
For now, we're going to talk about your career so far. Obviously, you've had a few clubs. So, what would you say was sort of like the earliest experiences you've got with football as a whole, playing, watching?
Playing must have been. It'd have been for Ezel Rangers when I must have been about under 7s, under 8s. I think that was it. Playing literally across the road from me at Penzance now, playing there, and obviously playing with a few lads that are quite close mates to me now. So that'd have been the earliest. I think when I went down there as a goalkeeper, they already had a keeper, so I was to play right back. Yes, there's one fail up. Me playing right back.
I failed right back.
And then the keeper went all day, and then I went in goal, and then that was it really. I sort of stayed in goal ever since. So about under 8s, under 9s, maybe a bit later. I can't really remember off by heart, but around that time. So yeah, I've been in goal since then.
It's a good exclusive that became a goalkeeper because the other keeper went on holiday. Yeah,
it's not worked out bad for me, has it, Sam?
No, you did all right out of that.
You've done well out of it. So obviously we know now with you and Lewis, you've got Andy keeping an eye on you. Well, when he turns up, Sometimes you've got Zach. So over sort of like the whole of your career, who would you say has taught you the most?
In terms of a coach or a goalie coach?
Whichever.
There's been a few. Obviously, when I was at Botty across the bridge, they had a goalkeeping coach and an assistant, Lee Eric, who was at Scrummy. And that was the first real goalie coach I had. You know, I used to do training with Jody Barford, who was at All Road when I was a kid. But the first real goalie coach in football in a team was that one. But I'd say it'd have to go to Jody Barford, to be fair. Obviously taught me for about 5-6 years, you know, as a kid. So he obviously got the foundations for me, and everyone's just chipped away in. You know, Leo chipped away in at Botty, Andy chips his bit in. To be fair, Lewis chips his bit in and helps me out when I help him out. So in terms of a coach who got the foundations, it'd have to be Jody Barford.
Yeah, I remember Jody teaching me at school as well during football, and I sort of developed as a goalkeeper from him as well. Obviously, learning from him, Adam Nicklin and the like. So just sort of moving away from sort of early career. So North Ferriby United, I want to talk about the demise of it. So obviously you were part of the squad near the end. So what was sort of your thoughts and your experiences of how sort of like the club demise towards the end?
At the time, I didn't really get into it. I must have been about 18, 19, maybe 20, no, 19, I think I was at the time. And I was in a team that had really good character in the conference. You know, something I'd never have thought at 19 years of age. I wouldn't even bother about playing, just being in the team, travelling, you know, the experience I had. So I didn't really delve into it much, you know, in terms of what was going on in the background. Obviously, you knew a bit wasn't going great at the time. And you was a bit gutted, like, obviously I was there since 16, I think. I moved to Ferriby with the team I was at. Played for the under-19s, played for the reserves, and got my way into the first team when Billy was there, put me out on loan, and then got my chance to travel with a team in the conference. So yeah, it was quite disheartening to see it, but at the end of that year, you just knew something wasn't right. You know, people were leaving, and there was whispers saying they was going to leave, or was on it at the time. So it was, you know, it was quite. It wasn't nice to see, especially when you've been there since you were 16. But unfortunately, that just happened, and that's just what people are like in it, and you can't do anything about it. But I enjoyed my time at North Ferriby United, and I still enjoy my time now with North Ferriby as it is. So in terms of a club as a whole, I think it's great.
Yeah, so how would you sort of describe how the club is now from how the club was back then? So what's changed? What has sort of like the aura of the place improved? I think as personally, but just like to know your.
Yeah, I think we're going in the one direction, and that's up. Do you know, at the time when we was in the conference, we was only going in one direction, which was unfortunately down. Like at the time, no one expected us to do anything. Do you know, there was a bit of like, I'll turn up, I'll do it. Don't get me wrong, people tried their hardest. Do you know, but I just think we had our hands tied behind our back with the people in charge. I think now, obviously, you got Les back at the wheel. Your hands are sort of free again, and you feel you can just keep going and going and going. And that's what he wants to do. He just wants to keep going. So there's only one place it's going. That's all the way up for me. You know, you're gonna have blips on the way. Might not go our way all the time. But I just think we've just got to be patient and get back to what a realistic target for us would be. You know, so definitely changed the environment. You know, people that we've brought in. Only one thing, which is up. You know, the fans just want us to go up. I know they'd love us to go back to where it was. So obviously we've just got to try and do that, and to the best of our ability.
What do you think's the sort of like the most realistic target for where we can get to?
Realistic target. If we got to Evo Stick Prem Conference North, if we bounced between them, I think as a club, the fans we're getting, obviously, the publicity we have, I think that's thereabout. Obviously, in let's say 4 or 5 years' time, if we can do it back to back, it'd be great. But
be nice,
yeah,
nice.
I think if we got to Evo Stick Prem, and then you'd assess from there. But you've just got you've got to take it year by year, week by week, day by day, game by game. Unfortunately, so there's no point looking at where we want to be if we can't do what we want to do now, which is get out of the league. So you've just got to take it season at a time. People are going to get frustrated. People are going to leave. People are going to come in. But that's football. And I think as long as everyone knows we are doing our utmost to get out this league and get out the next one and get out the next one and get out the next one, we'll all be going in the same direction.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. So, finally from me for now. So, other than Ferriby, because we obviously know that Ferriby is your favourite club you ever played at, who was your sort of favourite club to play for?
I'd have to say Botty, so the one before Ferriby, only because at the time when I left Ferriby in the conference, I wasn't really bothered about playing again.
Yeah,
didn't really bother me. And Mike Thompson, who is now manager at Beverley Town, was going to Botty and he said, "Look, come with me and just train." And to be fair, they got me enjoying it again. They got me really enjoying it again. So I'd have to say, my place I enjoyed playing for 2 years, and I wish it was longer. I always said if Ferriby didn't come asking me to come back, I'd still be there. It's the only club I left for. It's Ferriby. And I said that to him. It's a great little run club. Obviously, the manager's out there now. They're at Gainsborough, helping out there. But yeah, I'd have to say Boysford.
Awesome, mate. Shepard, back to you, mate.
Right. So we're gonna look at your sort of football heroes. So, who do you support first of all?
I'd have to say All City. Now, I don't really follow them.
Yeah.
Don't really support them. But as a kid, it was growing up. It was All City all the way. So I'd have to say All City. I still look at the fixtures and hope they're doing well. But yeah, since I started playing football, I haven't really been bothered. But All City. We'll say All City.
Yeah, fair enough.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And who's with footballers you sort of looked up to when you was a kid, whether that early football heroes, whether that be outfield players or goalkeepers?
First one would be Boys Mile. Obviously, going to watch City as a young kid being a keeper, I thought it was unbelievable. I loved him, hence the shirt at the back. So I'd say Boys Mile. Then watching at the time the Prem when City won in it, I'd have to say people like Thierry Henry, like Bergkamp. Who else you would say? And I'd say people like now, you're looking at your Messis, your De Bruyne's, your Ronaldo's. So, but my biggest one would have to be Boys Mile.
You still think you've got a bit outfield, George, don't you?
I've got a bit. Don't worry about that. only from a dead ball though, nothing else.
Yeah, I'm surprised you never took a pen against Seaham.
I don't want to do that. I must admit, I hate taking penalties. It's not for me. That I'll stick to saving them and let other lads score them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I bet you was getting nervous. What you thinking? Fucking hell, I'm gonna have to take one soon.
I didn't even realise until the next day, because I was like, I said to them, it must have been close to me. And we worked it out, and it was obviously TC who didn't take one, Eastie who didn't take one. Eastie's hammy was falling off again. TC was obviously not in a good place, so I was next after Tillo. Didn't even realise.
Yeah.
Thank God you saved it.
Absolutely buzzing the next day when I knew I was next and I saved it.
Good job on all.
But Miles a good shout. I reckon he was a big one for a lot of kids and that, especially when he was at City. He was a bit of a cult hero, wasn't he? And he really was a great keeper when City were on that high of going up through the divisions up towards the Premier League. He really was a great player for him.
The save that stands out was the one in the playoff against Watford.
The one at Watford, yeah.
The one away.
What a City.
Unbelievable. I remember watching it on TV thinking like, oh my God, that is like ridiculous. Yeah. From someone who plays for Hull City making a save, which would be up there as one of the world class saves.
Yeah, definitely. If Neuer had saved,
Edison saves that, it's on Sky Sports and they're talking about the raving over it. Do you know what I mean? So
100%. Yeah, Bowers was an unbelievable keeper. I remember growing up keeping myself. I used to look up to him. I'd always say that he was my hero growing up from a football point of view. So yeah, for a young goalkeeper like us, like we were, it's a really good shout.
Yeah.
Just another one I'm gonna throw in. Who do you reckon's going to win the Prem this year? And there is only one correct answer to this.
Don't say what he wants to hear, George. Come on.
Who's going to win the Prem?
Say Liverpool. Piss him off.
No. Do you know what? Deep down, I don't think Liverpool or United will win it. I've just got this feeling that someone who's not going to, you don't expect to win it. I just think you've got, no offence to United, the top of the league, and they've been bang average. Like,
yeah.
Listen,
Love it.
they've been bang average, but
Love
Liverpool's been bang average. Chelsea have been poor. Arsenal have been poor. Man City aren't what they used to be. And I just think you've got teams now around like Leicester, your Evertons, that you won't class them as a top 6 team, but they're building to become and challenge for that top 6. Now, Leicester's team now is miles better than when they won the Prem. Miles better. Everton's team is the best that most probably been for a long, long while, and they're up there. So I just think you can't. Don't get me wrong. One of them 2 will win it. I think United, Liverpool, Man City, one of them 3 will win it. But I just think deep down, everyone's talking about these teams. You've got your Everton, your Leicester's just creeping up, just going under the radar, which they'll be buzzing about.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it right now.
Here we go.
I'm going to go Everton. Called it.
Wow.
When they win it, you can send this.
Oh, we'll clip this just so we on Twitter when Don Carlo wins it with Everton.
It might be a really bad shout and they might finish 10th.
You know, before their draw last night with Fulham, I'd have put Spurs up there. Jose is doing with them.
He's got them playing, but I just think they're still off it.
Yeah, they can't beat Fulham at home. I mean, they're never going to win the league.
Yeah, I just think they've still got, even though Jose's there, they've still got a bad performance in them. Do you know, they'll go to, I don't know, they'll go to a Sheffield United who've got 1 game and get beat. You know, that's what they've been like for the few years. So I just think,
To be honest,
Everton, come on the tops.
even though they beat them 5-0, I wouldn't even say they played particularly well at Marine. Dele Alli carried them first half.
Yeah, it's just standards that though, isn't it? Do you know, they train full time. In the end, fitness takes its toll. But
yeah, it was a good effort from Marine.
It's an experience.
I'm not going to say anything about the bang average comment till after Sunday. I'll either crawl back under my rock or I'll be buzzing if they beat Liverpool. But anyway, right, we'll move on. I'll pass over to Ash again.
Go on, Ash. What's he doing?
Is he all right?
Is he? I think he might have.
Are you all right?
I've frozen out, boys. I've frozen out.
It's all right. We can hear you.
Now.
You're moving, so carry on.
Right.
Carry on.
It's struggling the last 5 minutes. If you can hear me, I'll carry on.
Yeah, carry on.
We'll talk about my life outside of football now. Just a couple of questions, really. What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Golf.
How do you relax after golf?
Golf. All day. If I didn't want to play football, I'd go play golf every Saturday, without a doubt. There's times when, like, I've played on a Saturday, I woke up Sunday morning and gone play golf. And that I think that's quite common, to be fair. I think there's quite a few lads in the team that play golf, play together, play with my mates. But yeah, definitely, if game's called off on a Saturday, I'm ringing up a golf course, booking a tee off time.
Did you not get invited to the club golf day with the lads?
I did, but I was working. I couldn't get it off.
Oh.
I was supposed to be in Jay, Eastie and Lewis's team, but I let Levi have it, but apparently he's stinking, so I don't think that'll be happening again.
He was a bit wayward. I walked around with him. He was a bit off. But that was quick, Walker.
I guess that answers the next question, Jordan, which was favourite sport other than football, but I'm guessing it's golf.
See. Yeah, I've got a few though, because I don't mind watching darts. I used to play darts.
Yes.
I don't mind watching darts. My mates got me into rugby league, right? And I used to hate it. I thought, oh my God, who would want to chase around, nug each other on the floor, like proper against it? And it took me to Magic Weekend. And I keep you not.
That's
the best weekend of my life. So yeah, I must admit, like, I do like going to a few rugby league.
Blaming that on Ash Borman, are you?
Yeah, Ash, all them lot. I go with them lot. So yeah, they've got me into it, to be fair. So I'd say rugby league's up there.
Which one was it, George? Was it a Newcastle Magic weekend?
Yeah, Newcastle. So it was was that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first. I got a ticket the season before for Cairn FC, and I thought, Ash was like, "You got to come. It's an unbelievable experience." I was like, "Shut up, it's rugby league." And to be fair, I went and I did enjoy it, you know. So I was like, "Let's go Magic Weekend." I was like, "Oh, I can't be doing rugby all weekend." It was like, "No, we'll just watch the game and then we'll go out all the time." I was like, "Right, I'm up for it. I'm going."
That's what we do.
But you know what?
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah.
It's up there. It goes up there. I can't remember much of the game, like, but it's up there. Definitely up there.
I know it's such a great weekend, and
Yeah,
the night out in Newcastle makes it.
I think I'll be doing that again. Do you know?
100%.
Definitely be doing that again.
Fingers crossed it goes ahead in May, but knowing what's happening,
Nah, that's not happening. You know, that's not happening.
Yeah. But yeah, so right.
Next year's on the cards.
Next year, mate. Next year.
Next year we'll go.
Be better than ever. Right. Last thing from me. So the one that all the lads won't want to hear. So it's teammates.
There we go.
Couple of quick fire ones. Come on, mate. Dig some of them out. So obviously, bus back. We had most of the initiations.
Yeah.
Whose was the best? You're allowed to time.
I can't really remember. Who was? I remember. Nelly had a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, Nelly's was.
Do you know what? I give it to Nelly. Nelly had a bit, to be fair.
I
tell you what, had a bit, and I didn't realise.
Nudge.
He
loves it, does Nudge.
Had a right voice on him.
Yeah. Rimo had a go, didn't he? But
yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, it was a good crack.
I think Nudge upstaged him.
Yeah. I know, but as a team, I'd go on Nelly. Nelly had a bit, to be fair.
Sam wouldn't sing though, would you, Sam?
No,
just
not
I bet you blast out some crackers in my time.
I've been on them team buses before when Billy Heath was trying to get me to sing, and if he can't fucking do it, then none of them was going to get me to do it.
He can't be as bad as fucking Ewan, so don't worry about that. If that's one of the questions, who's the worst?
Yeah, that was my next question.
He was so bad, real bad.
I remember it though. All of them singing on that bus.
Absolutely battering him, there was as well. Till I was trying to find him for it. That's how bad it was.
Who's the madhouse?
Madhouse. I'd say Kirky or Tiller.
Yeah, I'd back a Tiller there. Who's the moodiest? Who gets most angry at training or in a game?
Loz loves the mode. Loz loves the mode.
Walker's favourite now, Dennis Trim.
Dennis Trim. See, if you ask someone else and say me, because I've got a receding hairline, like they'd cane me for this. But let's have a think. It's not many bad trims, to be fair. They're all quite steady, aren't they?
Trying to think who I'd say.
I know.
There aren't many.
I'd give it to Levi because he's trying to pull off that real long quiff in here. It's not doing him any favours, bless him.
Best trim.
Shall I tell you who's always sharp? Nelly. Nelly's always got fresh trim. Like, he must go to the barbers twice a week.
Best dress sense.
Oh, you go to the West?
Yeah.
Yes, get on this. We can bat a few people on that. Right, best dress sense. Trying to think. Look, it's quite. Got quite a bit on the night out. Loz has got a bit. Loz has got some smart gear. Easty's got some smart gear. The few lads have got some smart gear, to be fair. Obviously me at the top.
Yeah. Go on then, Doug.
Yeah, I'd say one.
Who needs to go clothes shopping?
Oh, I'd say we could have a list here. Danny Buttle is horrendous. Like, absolutely disgusting. He got worse dressed on a night out. Right? That says it all. Ben Leyland, ain't the best. I'd say them two. But Butts is top by like 12 points, and then Ben comes up behind him.
Oh, Butts, bless him. PC.
It's funny though, isn't it? Buttle.
He is. He's a good lad, his Butts. We'll never forget his non-stop story, boys, will we?
No.
We won't. We will not forget that one.
Who loves a red card?
We had one, have we?
We've
We
had,
have-
Easty Harrogate got sent off, didn't
Oh,
he?
there was one in pre-season as well. Levi.
WWE. Who loves the red? I'd have to give it Easty because he's had one. Do you know, no one else had one, and he can lose. I reckon he can lose his head. So,
Yeah.
Easty.
Best techers?
Jay's got a bit.
Best,
Jay.
best trainer?
See, that's hard because we're all quite good, but in terms of Emma, you know what he's like. He's an absolute warrior in a workhorse.
Yes.
So I'd give it Emma.
Who's the worst?
Debatable. That could be me. That could be me. I'm not gonna lie. That could be me. I've had some stinkers in the past.
Yeah.
I'll say myself because I know I've had some shockers.
Who's the gaffer's best friend?
Easty. Well, actually,
Well, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And finally, who's always the last out of the dressing room?
I don't know actually. I don't know on that one. It's quite a mixture because some people sit and chat and some people get in the shower and go for a pan when we could. But yeah, a bit of a mixture really. Can't really say no one.
Nice, mate. Well, that's the teammates bit done. You've dug them out well, mate.
There's one I just want to throw in there just quickly. Whose tash did you rate the most when you did Movember?
Oh,
Yankees.
Nelly.
Yeah, he had a
I'd
good.
say myself, but I got battered for having that little bit at the bottom. So, but Nelly's was strong.
Yeah.
I think that was, Nelly. Nelly had a strong one.
He had a good go at it, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was fresh again all the time. Like,
Yeah.
he must have got his powers to do it all the way.
Well, yeah. That's my questions done.
Yeah, that brings us to the end. That's been brilliant, that Jod. I feel like we've covered a lot there.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's excellent.
Hopefully that's set a precedent now. Get a few more of them to come on.
Yeah, well,
Now you've been the
what
first.
Sotty did to me and put me up first when I recommended him doing it.
Yeah.
Get some other lads on here. Do you know?
We will.
We'll have a chat. I reckon Easty will do it for you. You sponsor him, don't you?
We do.
Yeah.
Get your sponsor on.
So you better do.
He'll do it for you.
I reckon he'll love it, Easty. He'll want to be on. We'll have a word. No, we're glad that that the players, some of them definitely watch it and stuff. It's been really good to hear that and that you wanted to come on. So thanks a lot. And some great answers there. A few things we'll probably keep for the end of the season and things like that might get played out again, especially the Prem predictions.
Just promise me you'll keep Danny Butterworth's dress.
Okay.
Get some out of that all the time.
Well, I'll ask those questions to all of the lads that come on.
Listen, he defends it, right? And he says, not me. If you'd have seen him, horrendous. Really bad. Blue top jeans and like these pooper scooper shoes. Fucking real bad.
Sorry,
You hate me for saying this, but I don't wear dress on like out, so it's him in it. It's gotta be.
What was his forfeit for being the worst dressed?
He had to buy everyone around the shots, and there was like 16 of us. Sure, it was shots. Yeah, it was.
Well, he deserves it then if he's the worst dressed.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
I mean, God, we've had to see some of your dress sense in the past, Salt, and it's not great. So
I'm thinking about blazer he wore down there, Newland at that time.
That'll live long in the memory, that
We'll
great
have a
one.
playoff. You can come in your best, and we'll get Butts in his best, and we have a vote at the club.
Okay, mate. That's fine.
Jack, you're safe, mate. Don't worry about that. You are safe.
That's fine, buddy. I'll get the blazer out. I'll win.
Promise you, you are safe.
Fantastic.
Right. We'll wrap up then, obviously. So that's episode 17 done. Obviously, like I say, thanks again to Jordan Douglas for coming on. Really good interview that. Well done, Ash, on your bit of news we did at the start before Jordan came on with the supporters club. And yeah, keep going with that, and we wish you well as the new secretary of that, and hopefully this auction gets going as well, and we raise a lot of money for the club, and hopefully we can get some more players on in the future. Our next thing is the big quiz on Saturday night that we're recording that Jack has put together, so we'll see how that goes. See how difficult they are.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, and thanks to you two as always for joining me, and yeah, just keep safe everyone, and hopefully we get some football back in the future at some stage. But yeah, cheers again, George. It's been really good tonight. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Cheers.
See you later, boys.